I'm super excited because I got to try out a new OM-SYSTEM lens. It is a 100 to 400 millimeter f5 to 6.3. And there's some really cool things about this product. It's not even officially out yet. It feels really cool to test it before the general public gets their hands on it. So it is a 100 to 400 millimeter, but with the OM-SYSTEM OM1 and OM1 Mark II, it has a 2x crop. So it's actually a 200 to 800 millimeter equivalent. So it should be really good for birds and other wildlife. And then it has 7 stops of stabilization. So that should help keep things stable when you're in handheld mode. And it is only 1,125 grams, which is about 2.48 pounds. And that is without the caps or the lens hood. And to put that into comparison, this is the 150 to 600 millimeter lens from OM-SYSTEM, and that's about 4.55 pounds. So you lose about 2 pounds with the 100 to 400, so it seems like it'll be a really nice kind of travel lens that you could take like in a backpack, a little easier than the 150 to 600. So I opened it up, and it is really nice and compact. It's got the autofocus, manual focus button, IS on or off, and then the 1.3 to 6 meters, full 6 meters to infinity button over there, and then the lock. So it opens in and out. There's also the lens hood in here, and then the manual. So I cannot wait to get this out in the field and try to shoot some birds with it. It is also splash proof and dust resistant. So really excited to try out this new lens, and tomorrow I think we'll go out and see what kind of birds we can find. I'm here in the backyard, but we are getting some massive snowfall right now. So I have the new lens set up on here. I'm really excited to get some shots. The lighting's not great, but I feel like the snow is gonna add some really cool effect to it. One thing I initially don't like is this tripod collar. It feels like it kind of is in the way when you're trying to turn this. But the nice thing is you can actually take it off. So you can unscrew it, you can move it up if that's gonna be out of the way more, or just take it off completely. And then it does have a fluorine coating. So that should help, some of this moisture, if it gets in, to just kind of wick off and make it a little easier to clean. And then it's also an ED lens, so the glass should be really good. But I'm just gonna stake out the feeder area, get low to the ground, and see what kind of birds we can get. I'm gonna be shooting in shutter priority mode. So I'm gonna be setting the shutter speed, and I'm gonna let the camera kind of do the rest of the work. And I'm also gonna be shooting in JPEG for these. So we'll do photo and video, and we'll see what we can get. There's some squirrels and doves around. Mourning dove in the snow, that's really nice. One thing that I like about this lens is it's very light. So it has the image stabilization built in, but also it's just kind of easier to hold it steady because it's not as heavy. So not as much of a burden on your arms. Sometimes with the 150 to 600, it's a lot to hold up all day. So this is nice and compact. Chickadee right here. Not really out in the open, so I'm gonna go video. Now he's out in the open. I think they're gonna give some good photo ops over here as they're sitting in the trees. Ooh, red-bellied woodpecker. That's cute. Let's go a little bit closer. Chickadees are normally pretty friendly. So what they like to do is grab a seed and then go eat it or try to pound it into the bark of a tree. So normally they might be really quick at the feeder, but then you get some photo opportunities as they go into the tree. So these chickadees are really fast moving, so I'm actually gonna raise my shutter speed a little bit. I was 1/1000. It's actually not freezing the action as much as I'd like, so I'm gonna go 1/1600. One thing is with this much snow, any camera's gonna wanna focus on the snow sometimes. So that is just part of dealing with this, but the OM1 Mark II does a good job with the bird's eye autofocus, which is one of the features I really like about it. So we are getting some shots where it's focusing on the snow, but it's doing a pretty good job of getting focus on the bird itself. And these chickadees are just so fun and charismatic to watch. They're a great subject. When I can, I've been getting down on the bird's level. That's a tip for bird photography I really love. But things are heating up a little bit. I'm gonna kick some of the seed open so that they have a little more access. So it'll probably get some more birds coming in. But the juncos do a really good job of doing that themselves. They kind of kick the ground. So let's open some of this up. Well, this has been really fun. I got a shot of a junco with some snowflakes on its head. That was really cool. You could see the contrast between the black, the lighter underside, and then the pink bill. But I'm getting a little cold out here, so I think I'm gonna pack it in and we're gonna try a different location. But it's been really fun testing this lens out so far. I actually think the video is really underrated on the OM-1 and the OM-1 Mark II. But you can get some great video with these OM-1 cameras. Warmed up for a little bit and moved to a different part of the yard, the front. And there's been a red-bellied woodpecker hanging out, kind of climbing up the tree. There's been squirrels hanging out on the trunk, some chickadees, so a lot of subjects to get video of. And, ooh, that's a nice squirrel pose. Nice. Sometimes animals just like hit a pose where you're like, that's the one. And they look so, ooh, there's a nuthatch. I was saying sometimes animals strike a pose where you're just like, that's the one. And the nuthatch is definitely an example of that because they love to go down the tree and then pop their head out. So when you get animals in those cool poses, it just feels extra special. I'm not sure if I captured it. A little bit. He's not in the classic nuthatch pose. Oh, there's a downy woodpecker too. We are getting tons of cool birds. There's two downies, male and female. Everything just looks more epic in the snow. And it is really cool to see the snowflakes landing on these squirrels and birds. Here's some geese. They're gonna fly over. We'll see if we can get them. It's kind of foggy. Got him. So I know this is a bird photography video, but with the downy woodpeckers, the females aren't going to have the red spot on the back of the head, the males will. So if you're out looking at downies, that's one way to tell male and female. Well, sweet. This has been a really good session of photographing and getting video of birds and some mammals in the snow. Final thoughts here on this new lens. Really like it. It's a great lightweight alternative to the 150-600. With that 800mm equivalent max reach here, you can get pretty close to birds. Normally I'd say 600 is the minimum you want for small birds, so it's nice you have the extra 200mm. And I actually ended up taking the collar off, and I thought that was easier to shoot with, so it's nice that you have the ability to take that on and off. But a really nice lightweight travel lens. I think the additions they added, like the fluorine coating, you know, some of the splash proofing and stuff, and the nice glass, really make it a good lens, especially for travel. Really nice and light, really easy to carry with you. If you want the extra reach, you're probably gonna wanna go with the 150-600, although you could add the teleconverters on here too, but I think if you can get the reach with the lens and the body, that's better than having to add those teleconverters. But really nice new lens from OM-SYSTEM.